So, yes, YouTube, and welcome back, lads, girls, guys, boys, men. So, I'm Harrison Chamberlain, and I am an online coach. I also run something called the Men's Social Network, which, if you see those videos, and if you're a Hampshire lad, always feel free to join in. They're free sessions. This is for men getting their lads together, creating a brotherhood, men that may be struggling. And again, this is being pushed out around the UK. So, this video, I'm going to basically show you that and explain that getting in shape, right, it's a mental thing. You get in shape mentally before you do physically. Now, some of you will think, well, like, how on earth does that happen? Like, some of you just won't understand what I'm on about. But I'm going to base you through this brief, right? And these are two different photos of me, right? I am natural. I've not ever taken anything. I don't take any testosterone. I don't take any tren, things like this. This is natural. Personally, I see with a lot of lads, when you're coming from this sort of build, and I see this with guys that I coach as well, or, even lads in the gym, I can look at someone's frame and think there's a lot of potential muscle to be stacked on there if they know what they're doing. And for most people, they don't track their food. They don't track their lifts. They don't have no training plan. They just walk in the gym, push a bit of weights, and that's it. That's not enough to grow muscle, right? Your body doesn't really want to grow. So you have to put it under a lot of stress, a lot of tension. Again, mixed with a good nutrition, enough protein to actually make sure you're building the muscle to actually grow. So this was me. This was around 16 to 17. I remember I was competing in my first amateur boxing match. And this is something I'll speak more on. You guys will understand my story, where I come from, over the past 10 years from 15, 16 years old. So I'm 26 now. And here, that was me back then. I was around, I remember fighting at different fights, 60 kilo. I think I was probably 60 kilo here on the left. And this is me like 76 here and still pretty diced out lean. So I've built a lot more muscle, loads of muscle to be very honest. Got leaner, we're just as lean, built more muscle. And I can eat a shit ton of food basically. I can eat a shit ton of food. My maintenance is pretty much around 3,200, right? In fact, if I eat about 3.2, 3.1, I'll get pretty shredded. So, that's how it is. Some of you are probably watching this video thinking, you bastard. But, go and build a decent amount of muscle and you'll be able to eat more food. So, you get in shape mentally before you do physically. Why I say this? Because this man here, I believed that I could get to here. That's how I used to view myself. I used to view myself like there was no roadblock for me. There honestly wasn't. I wanted to be jacked. I wanted to be a good boxer. When I was younger, I used to watch all these films like The Incredible Hulk and all these people. And I used to idolize these characters. Like these characters that could do strong stuff, just the hero of the movie, the Batman and people like this. I wanted to be like that, these SAS guys and, all these big films. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to do this cool stuff. I didn't want to be weak. In fact, I couldn't see it in my mind. I couldn't envision in my mind being, out of shape, fat, depressed. I couldn't picture it. I've always been involved in fitness, whether that was football when I was younger, and I played at a fairly decent level, and then a lot of running, and then obviously I got into boxing and got into amateur boxing and fought some of the best lads in the country as well at the time. So, I've got myself backed in what I've done. So I'm confident where I come from and I'm confident where I'm now at. So I have walked the walk, I haven't just got here by accident. I've put in the work since day one and I continue to put in the work. So you get in shape mentally before you do physically. So that's what I'm basically saying. When you're thinking about yourself mentally, right, you're already thinking what you need to do. To get in shape, you're already thinking of that version, right? You're already operating of that guy that's in shape, right? So you want that dream physique. Start asking yourself what that guy, what that version of you, what does that require you to do daily? Are you waking up, pressing snooze on the alarm at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sleeping in, right? I don't care what time you wake up, right? And this isn't me saying you got to wake up at 6 a.m. You haven't. I used to think you do. You haven't. If you're a nighttime guy and you want to do your revision, your studying, whatever, you might watch YouTube videos. You might be learning about fitness and nutrition. You might be here now at 12 at night watching this video, and it might be keeping you up. Good. Keep tuned for all the next ones. You haven't got to wake up early, right? You might stay up late, as long as you're getting your 8 hours. I'm not interested whether you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock, whether you wake up at 5 in the morning, whether you wake up at 9, 10. Personally, I think I prefer waking up earlier. I've got in a habit of going to bed late, being sat on my laptop, and then I wake up early. But 8 hours sleep is, 8 or 9 hours sleep is what we should all be aiming for. So you need the awareness to actually even change your shape. If you have no awareness, how do you expect to shift this body fat or to build this muscle to get in shape? You need a mindset shift, right? You need some sort of awakening, a reality check. And something I find with lads that I coach is I can almost tell now, the ones that I get messages from, the ones that I get inquiries from that want to change their physique, I can almost tell who's going to pull through, right? Because some lads, will message me and say, I don't care how long this is going to take me, like whatever I need to do, I'm going to do it. And I can really feel it just by text, like, yeah, this guy's going to change. A lot of people will talk the talk but not walk the walk, and I think I can tell with those ones too. The I don't care how long it takes mindset will win every single time. Every single time. I don't care, who even wants to argue with it. The I don't care how long it takes, I need to get in shape. When you have a strong enough why, you will overcome every flipping obstacle, every wall that gets put in front of you. I promise you now, you will crawl through glass to get in shape. Like, that's how it will be for you. And what I find with most guys as well that I coach, once you get them to the level of they've dropped 4 or 5 kilos, your mindset shift is changed, like, massively. It's drastically changed. And this is why I personally think, going a little bit more aggressive with certain people, depending on, how someone works. I'll always find this out, based on questions. And based on working with someone, again, I'll find out their background, what work they do, what works best for them, basically. Some guys might work better with meal plans. Some guys might work better with macros and calories. And that's completely down to each person, it's personal preference. But the mindset shift is where the work really happens. It's where you decide, I'm getting in shape and I don't care how long it takes. So you need to ask yourself, right? This you now, right? Just picture for a second. You are in shape. If you're watching this and you're like, well, I'm not in shape. I'm fat. I'm depressed. I'm out of shape. Picture you the best shape of your life. I'm talking 6-pack, shoulders, bulges, big chest. Your £2 t-shirt from Primark fits you like a glove. Nice and snug. And that is a big status symbol. When if I've gone, to a place, I've seen my mates, we've gone out for some food or something like this in the summertime, I will wear a 4 or 5 pound t-shirt, white, black or grey, or all black black jeans, black shoes, and a black top. You stand out because I don't care what Gucci, what Prada, what Versace, what Louis Vuitton you're wearing. If you're fat, you're out of shape, your aura is dimmed down. It's dimmed down and you can sense it through a man. You can look in his eyes. when you've put in the work, right, you carry a sense of pride for yourself. You carry a sense of self-confidence of, I love the way I look. It's not being about I'm better than everyone else. It's, I'm happy with the way I look, right? It's having the confidence to not really care what other people think, right? You know how long it's took you to craft the physique, and that's like myself. I know how long it's took me to craft this physique. I don't really give, I don't really give two shits about what other people think. Or, they say this, they say that, because I'm the one that's been in the gym 4 or 5 days of the week, 4 years on end, tracking my food, tracking my lifts, and showing up even when I don't want to. Like, that's when I look in the mirror, I know that I'm the man, that I said I would be. I know I'm the man that pulls through, alright? So it doesn't matter what other people say. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, how often does that man with a six-pack train? How often does this dream version, this athlete version of me, how often do they train? Do they go out every weekend and get smashed? Do they order takeaway most nights? Do they sack off the gym when they said they'll go when they've got in from work and they're tired? Do they consume sugary drinks on the daily? Now, I'm not saying you need to cut everything out. Definitely not. I coach lads that don't cut things out. I coach lads that have gone for a meal every weekend, accounted for, and we still lost weight. In fact, most of them that have been in their fat loss phase have actually been quite shocked that, I didn't think it would be this easy. And that's not me from a marketing standpoint at all. It depends where I will be very raw and honest that, if someone comes to me and said, yeah, I want to get 10% body fat, I will turn around and tell you, cool, it's going to be pretty hard. Because 10% body fat is hard, right? Getting down like lean as a bean like that, it is fucking hard. I wouldn't go lying to someone. The first initial weeks can be fairly breezy, but the leaner you get, the more your body wants to hold on to body fat, right? It becomes harder. You have to do more steps. You have to drop your food. You have to do more cardio, right? Because your body is really trying to hold on to that body fat. It doesn't want to be that lean, okay? So I'll be very open and honest if someone said to me, I want to get down to single digit body fat or 10% body fat. I'm not here to lie. So what do you actually need to do, right? And sometimes I say this to the lads I coach as well. The things you say no to is often what will get you to the destination. So sometimes it's not always about the things we say yes to. Yes to the gym. Yes to the steps. Because you could just go, like, a lot of people might go to the gym, hit their steps, just go home and buy a pack of digesters on the way back and tell themselves, oh, I've worked hard today for this. I can tell you now, if you've eaten 6 or 7 of those digestives, you have just put back on all the calories that you've just burned off at the gym and doing your steps. That's how real and realistic it is. One digestive is 85 calories. You eat 4 of those, that's probably a daily 10k steps removed. And how long does it take to eat 4 of those digestives? A minute, not long at all. So what you need to do, right, is you need to start performing and acting like this version of you that is in shape, right? I'm talking, do they track their food? Yes, they very much likely do. Do they track their lifts? Yes, they very much likely do. If you want to be getting stronger, you want to be building muscle, you want to be tracking what you're doing in the gym. Do they get 10k steps plus in a day? Yes, it's likely that they do. Are they sleeping 8 or 9 hours? Yes, it's likely that they do. Do you think that this version of me here, do you think that this version of me doesn't do 8 to 10k steps? Someday I might sit at 7 to 10k steps. I have a very active job as well, so I'm very active. Do you think I don't track my food? Do you think I don't eat protein or enough protein? And do you think I just walk in the gym, throw around a bit of weights and I look like this? No chance. Nobody that gets in elite shape ends up there randomly, right? It's calculated. Everything is calculated. Do you think that millionaire, right, that created the business, that showed up doing all those hours of work, do you think they got there by, accident? No. Do you think the guy at the Olympics got there by accident? Do you think Usain Bolt got there by accident? No chance, right? End of. No chance. None of them did. Nothing is by accident. It's all cause and effect. For every action you take has an effect, right? So, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want to head over to my Instagram, and you'll see more content there, more personal content, more, bits of my weekly life, daily life, coaching clients, things like this, then head over to there. It is called Harrisons_coaching. If you ever need any help, also feel free to drop me a message and I can get back to you and I can give you some pointers. Or if you also want to be coached by myself, then drop me a message and we can chat from there. And also taking part in things like this. This is what I do with the lads that I coach. We go off, we head off over to Wales. This was our last coaching event. I booked a big Airbnb for a good group of us, and we stayed there for 2 nights. We cooked up steaks, we cooked up eggs, just real primal stuff, getting lads together like a brotherhood. We showered in freezing cold lakes after we climbed down from the mountain. We climbed the mountain in 90-mile-an-hour winds, and we got together and we just done what men do, men being men. So if you want to be part of something like this, part of a real brotherhood, then click subscribe, head over to Instagram, follow me on there, drop me a message. Even if you're watching this video and you're tuning in, drop me a message. I love to see the guys that, I love to see everyone that are supporting and following. I appreciate it massively. And I will keep doing these videos and breaking down, content, education, how I got my lads in shape. And stay tuned for the next one. I'll be back.